Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. This is the Army Showcase. The Army Showcase is where we look at different armies from different games. Now in this showcase, we're going to have a look at an army from Perry Miniatures. And this is from their Battle in a box set. This is the American Civil War, a version of the Battle in a box. And what it is basically a whole lot of miniatures inside one box, ready for you to start playing the game. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually have a look at the different miniatures, different units and stuff like that, and then we are going to have a look at the painting, and then we're gonna have a look at show you some pictures of what the full set looks like. It is a huge set and it comes with a lot of pieces. Now, the contents of the box is approximately 170 figures with 145 infantry, 12 cavalry, 18 artillery crew, 4 guns, and house. Uniform and flag guide and stuff like that you get with this. And also you get a bonus of fencing, which I thought was like really, really fantastic. Now, also in the box you get a short rule set. This rule set's called Firepower. It's written by Alessio Cavatore. It's got scenarios. It's basically a great addition because when you are just getting into a game, or you got this for Christmas, or you got this as a gift, or and you're a new person, right? A new player, a new gamer. Nothing is better than having a little easy rule set in your box set. I think that's really, really fantastic that they've included this. Now, if you're probably a veteran, you probably have a few rules to play with, and probably the Firepower rulebook might not be such a big thing. But for the newbies, let's have a look at the Firepower rulebook.
Alright, so let's have a look at the Firepower book. As far as I know, you can only get this rulebook with the Perry Miniatures Battle in a box set. So this is for the American Civil War. As you can see, it stays here on the tin. Simple American Civil War games rules, and it's a collaboration between Alessio, Alan, and the Perry twins. So, right, so let's have a look inside very quickly. Now, the cover, it's a Peter Dennis cover, isn't it? Obviously. Okay, so moving in. This is what you'd expect from a miniature company releasing a rule book. It's got nice miniatures to look at. Let's have a look at the pictures. Really, really nice. Really quickly. Yeah, nice looking figures. Nicely painted. It totally captures the set that you have in front of you as you're flipping through the book. So let's look through the book very, very quick. It starts off with the core rules for infantry, and it's really nice because it says over here that each regiment is about 18 figures in 2 ranks, right? So that in this game it's pretty much 3 figures, which is very, very cool. And then you have the rules for it. Rules for playing the infantry, marching, firing, distances for firing distances, game turns, everything you need to do, everything you need to know to play with the infantry. And then you have the cavalry set, and over here the cavalry tells you that it's 6 bases, right here, 6 bases to a cavalry, or 6 figures, to a squadron, which is good because immediately you're locked into how to base these figures, and immediately you can already like get into the rules of playing cavalry, which is great. I like the way these figures are done. The rule set is written, to be honest, because each element is looked at separately, and if you're learning how to play and you're looking for a simple set of rules, this is, I think, the best way to do it. And then you have artillery. Oh wait, before that, let's go back. We have superior officers here, which are basically the named guys, and then they have the artillery. All the rules in basically 1-2 pages, except probably infantry. So it's definitely a simple looking rule set, and they've also decided to add some scenarios, battle lines, for example, and call for help. You have hold out, ambush, dawn attack, take the farm, Oh yeah, take the farm. So that's pretty much 6 scenarios in a simple little rule book, right? So it's good. It's compact. It's a good rule book, and I appreciate the fact that they put this into the set because, you know, you don't know who's gonna get the set, right? I would assume, you know, for those who are, you know, more veteran at the game, you know, this rule book might probably not be exciting for them, but I am looking at this rule book more for the newbie, you know, the new guy, you know, who just got a birthday gift, Christmas gift from an uncle, a grand, you know, who decided to get them a box of American Civil War figures. Now you have the figures and a quick set of rules to play with. Because, you know, when you're new, right, there isn't exactly, you don't actually know where to get these rules to play the game from. And this actually helps. The language in the rules is also quite simple, you know, for you to follow. So yeah, very, very extremely good idea from Perry Miniatures. And I think if I was to receive this, I would appreciate this in the box as well. Looking at the credits, yeah, game design by Alacio, and then miniature design by Alan Perry and Michael Perry. Peter Dennis artwork, of course. And then you have, you know, they credit the miniature painters as well, which is great. Yeah, and then you have the other plastic kits that you can get, and then the back cover. And let's like look at the back cover. Yeah, firepower is a simple set of rules to use in American Civil War miniatures. It's easy to pick up and play. It is. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's the Firepower rulebook that you get with your Battle in a Box American Civil War set.
So this painting project was painted by Basir, and he tells me that the project started in July 2023 and completed only in October 2025. That's almost like 2 years worth. He only worked on them during like weekends and public holidays, and he believes it's a good set. It's a great starting point for you to start painting you know, American Civil War figures. I think it's a great thing that he's chosen to tell me this, because you can gauge the amount of effort you need to get this complete. So more or less about 2 years, you know, painting casually, and you get this set done. I thought you know, it's a lot of figures, so you know, it's good that he tells me this to add. I also asked him about how he went about painting and the process of doing the box, and he tells me that you know, the painting process was done, you know, using painting alternate bases. So he'll begin with the Union infantry, and then he'll do some Confederates, and the painting, like I said, it was done during holidays. So you know, every base he took his time, one after another. He tells me also that you know, if you just work with the simple method of alternate, you'd probably get a lot of things done, because you know, you don't really feel bored, you know, painting the same figure over and over again. As for the basing for the figure, he used Vallejo's brown earth gel, and then when the thing was dry, he used Army Painter's field green. He drew out the different bases in the set. So Basir's got a little bit of tip that he wanted me to share. He tells me that after you know, block out the colors and just paint them flat, you know, it's fine to put on the table. But he also has a magic ingredient that he wants to share. He mixes together Citadel's Lamia medium, Rickland flesh shade, and dark tone in a 4-3-3 portion, and uses this to cover the figures and let dry for a few hours. So this is his formula for a quick shade, which I thought was very interesting for him to like add as information for me. It's nice to see people trying out different recipes for quick shade. Alright, so here's the paints that Basir used to paint his figures. Most of the figures are pretty much Army Painter colors. So for Union Infantry, the jacket used dark sky, the trousers used electric blue, the shoes matte black, the rifle used oak brown, and the gunmetal for metal parts, the kepi dark sky, the water canteen monster brown, hair and facial hair, oak brown and black. For the blanket, ash grey. For the bag, matte white. For the bullet pouch, matte black. For the bayonet scabbard, black with gold dripping, gold tipped. And for the faces and hands, he used tan flesh. As for the Confederate infantry, for the jacket he used uniform grey. The trousers he used a mixture of either monster brown, desert yellow, uniform grey, or ash grey. For the shoes, leather brown, rifle, oak brown, and gunmetal. For the metal parts, of course. The kepi, he used ash grey or desert yellow, a mixture of one or the other. For the water canteen, monster brown. For the hair and facial hair, he used oak brown or matte black. For the blanket, monster brown, desert yellow, uniform grey, and ash grey. This, of course, just to give it a little bit of variety. For the bag, matte white. For the bullet pouch, oak brown. For the bayonet scabbard, matte black with gold tips. And then for faces and hands, he used tan flesh once again. As for the Union cavalry, for the jacket, he used dark sky. For the trousers, electric blue. Sword, gunmetal. Shoes, matte black. And the faces, he used tan flesh. Now for the horses, he chose a mixture of, for variety, either monster brown, oak brown, or whites, matte whites, and blacks. As for the Confederate cavalry, the jackets were uniform grey, trousers were monster brown, desert yellow, uniform grey, and ash grey, a mixture. The sword used the gunmetal, the shoes leather brown, the faces again tan flesh, the horses a mixture of monster brown, oak brown, matte white, and matte black. As for the Union artillery, for the cannon he used true copper and matte black, and for the carriage he used this army green. As for the crew, the jacket was dark sky, the trousers he used wolf grey, matte black was used for the belted shoes, trimmings or uniforms he used pure red, the ramming rod oak brown and matte black, and the caps. Dark sky. For the water canteen, he used monster brown, and for the hair and facial hair, he used either oak brown or matte black. As for the artillery for the Confederate, the cannon used true copper and black. The carriage used oak brown. As for the crew, the jacket was a mixture of monster brown, desert yellow, uniform grey, and ash grey. The trousers, a mixture of either, monster brown, desert yellow, uniform grey, and ash grey. For the belt and shoes, leather brown. Trimmings on the uniform, pure red. The ramming rod, oak brown and matte black. The hat and cap, uniform grey or pure red. For the winter canteen, monster brown. As for the hair and facial hair, oak brown and matte black. Now, in case you're not so sure or you're very new, this is the first time you're having a look at this, the scale for this set is a 28 which is basically 1:56 scale. And the box pretty much gives you everything to represent a brigade style skirmish. Now, personally, I don't know much about the American Civil War, so having a set like this in the store was quite nice for a while for me to have a look see. Also, very very important. Lots of these big box sets tend to move to my store as well, so it's very very nice to see one that's come back that's fully painted. Usually I never see the full set being painted. So this hopefully will give you some inspiration, right? To know that if you get a big box set, all it takes you just a couple of weekends, couple of holidays, and you probably get this set complete. Of course, it is mostly to tabletop quality, but it doesn't matter. The set is complete. As for the set itself, my personal opinion was I thought it was a really really nicely packed set. You get a free rule set. The house that they give in the set was really really nice. It looks generic, but it has got a little bit of character on it, and I like the fact that Basir has done a little bit of like weathering to make it a little bit dirty, a little bit old, maybe from the suit, from the cannons and stuff like that, which I thought was a really really good idea. But it's a very very nice looking house, and I really really appreciate the fact that Perry Miniatures have put this in the set as well. I was also surprised by the amount of fences that was in the set. These could easily have not been in, but having them in, it actually adds a little bit more to your table when you're playing. It's just a small little addition, and in terms of like adding this to your pre-existing terrain, it's just more scattered terrain for you to put on and add. The set also comes with a sheet of flags, a flag sheet, which you can cut up and use. I thought this was also a very very brilliant idea. A lot of manufacturers do that, just to get you started. And as you can see over here, the flag for the Union is the 18th Infantry Regiment, and had a look see, and apparently it saw action in the West, West theater. But it was very nice that they give a variety of flags to use for the different Confederate brigades, that that are in this set. Also very very interestingly, I like the fact that the way this set was set up after being painted, because if you notice, all of the Union figures, the first rank look like they're shooting, and the second rank looks like they're marching. Now for the Confederates, if you have a look see, a lot of the front ranks look like they are charging, while the back ranks have their rifles over their shoulder, which I thought was a really really nice distinction between both. Of course, it's easy to compare, look at them from a distance in terms of color, but I think this also adds to differentiate the two sides as well. The Zouaves are also a nice addition. I'm glad that they added the Zouaves to this. Very very nice looking and very very colorful. I think whenever I look at the American Civil War, I'm always curious about the Zouaves. and why they're dressed that way. Maybe I should go and like read up on them a little bit. All in all, this is a very, very good set. I think it's worthwhile for you to get if you're thinking about like purchasing this. I don't think it's available outside the UK, but it is definitely a good set to get. I'm very, very happy that it's passed through my store, and I'm very, very happy that I got to see what it looks like painted. I think Basir did a really great job. I must commend him on being patient and completing a set. It's very, very important to complete the miniatures that you buy and paint. This is definitely one uh, box that's off Basir's pile of shame. So yeah, kudos. Yeah, if you like me featuring boxes that are fully painted like this, we did another one previously for I think the Napoleonic Waterloo set, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the links in the description. If you like us doing stuff like this, let me know. Also, if you like, you can always leave a comment and let Basir know how much you appreciate the work he's done, and maybe urge him to like paint more figures. That's about it. That's pretty much the Perry's Battle in a Box set painted up for you to have a look at. If you like the content like this, like and subscribe is the best way to show your support. Leaving a comment is even better. But at the end of the day, as always, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.